Many rooms, many dreams, many countries in the same space. Tibetans believe that between 40 to 49 days, the spirit of the dead finally leaves this earth. 49 days after he died, I dreamt of my father. We had just come from dinner and then he had stood up to leave. We asked, "Don't you want to stay?" And then we remembered he was dead. So we told him that we loved him and we'd miss him forever. He hugged my sisters, Mutya, Tiwata, and then he hugged me last. Then he left, but not through the front door. He floated out the window. It's kind of how I floated out of the Philippines. Someone at the studio asked me what the short film was about, and I couldn't answer him directly. It's kind of like asking how Adrian and I broke up. What happened is that one day we were eating in a restaurant and I told him I couldn't stand to eat and look at his face at the same time. And if he could please leave the table. And he waited outside while I finished eating dinner, and that was it. I didn't ever want to stay in America. I grew up hating America. We were the oppressed people. We were victims of imperialism. But my dad had just died and I wanted to get out of Manila so bad. Unlike a gazillion other Filipinos, though, I didn't really want to stay. I just wanted to get away from the memory of my father and every single person who saw him in me. But now that he's dead, I can't get away from him. I'm the one always seeking him out. I wanted to go to Brazil. I wanted to be a dive master in Bahia. But then I met the Velvet Ash, my band, and I went to Baseland, and I met Alex. I still want to leave, I'm just having too much fun now. It was the music, everyone constantly playing in the studio. I knew their melodies, I knew their beats, their pauses. I knew all of this before I knew their names. I could grow blind and I'd recognize everyone's signature riffs. My favorite place was the couch in the big room. I'd look up at the ceiling constantly and think, I'm so lucky. There was love, there was truth, and there was beauty all around. It was so beautiful it would always make me want to cry. Thinking about love translates into 5/8 of my day. I fall in and out of love constantly. My first boyfriend, parang I loved him so much na sobra talaga. It's not like all these songs that I've written, yung mga luma, they're all about him. I'm so traumatized kasi after we broke up, like he got my songs and he would tell all his friends, yeah, she wrote this about me, and like, because they're good songs, you know. He was so big in my life, but he was using it like afterwards to be like,
to be big to everybody else.
To impress other girls.
Yeah.
I'm so traumatized ako. So after that, sabi ko, I'm never ever going to tell anyone that they affected me that much.
Ako, first 3 boyfriends ko, ang pare-pareho sila ng sinabi, you destroyed my life. Like, I broke up with you, yun nga, because I'm such a bitch, you know. If itong nangyari sa akin kay Dave happened to me like before I got married, I wouldn't even talk to him. But then again, I got divorced. I had kids. And then you mature so fast. Talagang sobrang gumanon ako after my divorce. I'm so much mellower now. I'm sure you don't think so. Pero if you knew me then, sabi ko, I've always wanted to have boys. Number 1, kasi I married someone that I know wouldn't love a little girl as much as she would deserve it. Hindi niya kaya mag-alaga ng girl, you know. So I had boys, which luckily for me. And then secondly, ayoko magka-girls kasi gusto ko pag nagkaanak ako ng girl, mas maganda kaysa sa akin. Kasi yung cousins ko, okay, alam ko na. Yung mga pinsang ko, yung moms nila is prettier than them. So alam mo yung trauma nila ng bata na lagi, ang ganda ng mom ko. You know how Filipinos are.
boyfriend, for some reason, he could get into our house at like weird hours of the night. And, you know, I lived with my mom and like maids and like dogs and birds and stuff. But I don't know how, you know, after I broke up with him, he came to our house. And I was sleeping in my grandmother's room. I wasn't sleeping in my room for some reason. I think, I don't know why. But he went into my grandmother's room while I was sleeping. I think he cried. He like crept up on the bed and cried beside me. And I just remember like lying there, not feeling anything, not even feeling sorry for him. Because I just didn't love him anymore, you know? And I was just lying there. And that would be it. It was like 2 a.m, which is really rare, you know? He lived like an hour away from me.
Yeah, I hear that.
Your chest, your heart trips.
I know why I'm in America. America supersizes everything, including your dreams. Here it's possible to make movies, to fall in love, be a rock star, have 8 kids all at once, and make a living out of being 300 pounds. Or your art, whichever you choose. You could get a job bagging groceries or making coffee in the daytime, and you could still be a producer at night. Living here is bigger than all my dreams put together. But the longer I'm here, the more I realize I don't belong here. Here are things I miss. I miss driving through wet Manila streets at night, Maggie the Labrador jumping on me when I got home, cigarettes that cost 50 cents a pack, staying out all night and getting drunk till 6 in the morning and not having to drive home, beating red lights, buying cigarettes by the stick, my mom and her cooking, and how everyone reminds me of someone else. I miss my red apartment, white sand beaches, really blue warm water, really cheap accessories, my nanny, and scuba diving. I miss being related to everyone and being mean to other people. Here's what I don't miss. I don't miss being related to everyone. The smell of garbage, the heat, the humidity, feeling trapped and being told to clean my room, seeing the same people all at the same events, and getting drunk with them till 6 in the morning because you don't really have a choice. Seeing the same scenery in the same islands. Construction workers calling out, Miss, I love you. Driving through traffic. Street kids selling flowers on the street. They always make me sad. Small cramped streets. Smog and other variations of diesel engine fumes. Streets flooding. I memorize my memories of my dad. The last time I saw trees shaping strips of moonlight into curves, I was 10. Me, my sisters, my yaya, bunches of kinchay, strawberries, and jars of peanut brittle were bundled up in the car parked outside my father's house. My father's outside reading a letter just handed to him by my mother, who's getting into the car. She slams the door, adjusts the rear view mirror, and asks if we have to go to the bathroom. And my sister starts crying, but no one answers, so my mom starts to drive away. When I look back at my father, he's tearing the letter up into tiny pieces. They're carried across the moonlit strips until we turn into a curve, and then I can't see anymore. This is bad memory number 1. I wanted a piano, so we were in a music store, and the salesman took one look at my dad and told him there was no way we could afford it. My dad, he looked so helpless and so poor. He's a loser. I didn't want to see him ever, so I hid from him. When he visited, I would tell the maids to say I was asleep or I wasn't there. And he's always sweating because he wasn't used to the warm Manila weather, so I'd always wipe my mouth after I kissed him. The most I ever did to show my affection was to pat his head. If he sold a painting or buy us gifts, I would be his daughter again. When I felt like it, I was sweet and nice. I was always impatient with him when he was alive, though. But this is good memory number 1. My first really tangible memory of happiness was driving around the hills of Baguio in my dad's pickup. My sister and I would hop into the back and ride all the way home standing up. My knuckles would grow numb from holding onto the railing. My dad would tear up and down the roads to our house. I could hold that feeling, the speed, the cold, the drunken stupor sometimes, in my hands like a ball and think about it in class while I was spacing out. Last night there weren't too many people on the road, and the street lights looked soft and blurry like the wind was in my eyes. So I turned up the air conditioning and pretended I was 12 in Baguio again. But this isn't a love story. Here are 10 things about America. Everyone's fat, but I'm a rock star. An ethnic rock star who is poor, and I have no maids and I have to drive myself, and white boys have made me racist. Everything I thought I was is not. And you watch over me from heaven, or so I think. It was a beautiful summer.